Welcome to part 2 of the sentence placement video, and I just want to give you kudos for actually following through and watching the second video. And if you haven't seen the first video, what are you doing here? This is going to be all very confusing. So I'm going to link up above and also in the description box below the first video where we go through sentence placement questions and the main principles and the main clues, and this is the advanced folk stuff. So my name is Katja Severson. I'm the inventor of the Severson method, a scientifically proven way to learn anything fast. Let's get to it, my nerdy chickens. Okay, so remember how we talked about in the previous video how we have 3 types of clues. We have articles, we have pronouns, and we have words like adverbs or transition words that sometimes show up in the sentence in question. And this is kind of pointing us towards what should have come before the sentence or what should come after the sentence. Like, where is it more appropriate? Where is this pronoun mapping to? Now, in the questions that we're about to discuss, the hint, the clue, is not going to show up in the sentence in question. So when you are, let's say you're sent to sentence 4, like sentence 4 would most logically be placed, and you go to sentence 4, and when you get there, you see nothing. There is no clue, no hint, no pronoun, no obvious article, no obvious word like therefore, or if there is a pronoun, then the reference is so ambiguous that you're like, oh my God, where should this go? So in the situation like this, which could very well happen, I want you to not worry and not keep rereading the sentence in question. I want you to start looking for hints in the paragraph itself. Let me show you what I mean by that. So we're going to start with this really difficult question from the June test, not June. I'm lying. This is from May 2017. So this is question 38. I apologize. Super blurry. So this is, actually, should have chosen a better color. 38. This is 38. So at this point, they're asking us about sentence 4. And if you look at sentence 4, I really don't want to read it out loud because it's so confusing. You're going to see that this sentence is, I'm going to give you a moment to read it. It's kind of like an independent, sovereign country. It's like an island. It could be anywhere. It's talking about, it has a subject and the verb, and it's complete, and there are no obvious signs that this is where it should be placed. So we're going to go over the passage, over the paragraph, and find some of the clues if we have any. So first discovered in 1706. I'm just starting to read the first sentence. That would have been such a fun sentence to place because these formations are found in 2 varieties. So right out of the gate, they're giving us a topic sentence, and they're kind of like giving us a thesis statement for this paragraph. There are 2 varieties of formations. There's sand and there's rock. There's sand fulgurites and there's rock fulgurites. Sand fulgurites are a lot more common, and rock fulgurites are a lot less common. Sentence number 2 has something very sexy to me. It has a pronoun, it. As it cools, a pronoun like it has to refer to something that is singular. Look at the sentence that is right before. Sand fulgurites and much less common rock fulgurites. If we were to say, as those cool, I would have had no problem with that. But I can already see that 1 and 2 cannot be together because it has nothing to map to. It cannot map to rock fulgurites because fulgurites are plural, and it cannot map to sand fulgurites, plus they're connected with this and. It must be they. So I have already discovered a place where we absolutely have to insert something, and the option that we have is sentence 4. Let's just check if that makes sense. Sand fulgurates, so this is the first thing that is being mentioned, form when intense energy of a lightning bolt rapidly heats moist air trapped in a sandy soil, and the resulting expansion creates a void lined with melted silica. So they're talking about some heat action, something heats up and something then explodes and expands. As it cools, what happens after something gets heated and an explosion? Then it starts to cool. So what is it? Let's take a look. When the intense energy of lightning bolt rapidly heats moist air trapped in the sandy soil and resulting explosive expansion creates a void lined with melted silica. So we have two options, either the moist air or a void as it cools. The silica lining, actually the silica lining forms a glass-walled cavity that may look like a plant's root system. So here, this it is actually mapping to the silica lining, but if we put 1 and 2 back to back, it will be absolutely inconceivably difficult to figure out what's going on. So we have to place our sentence 4 in between sentence 1 and 2. And hopefully there's an answer choice like that. Yes, there is. This is after sentence 1. So this is exactly how I want you to start approaching these sentence placements and questions when the hint is not vividly present in the sentence. Instead, I want you to start looking around in the passage. So this one is another very good example of where you have a pronoun. So in sentence 5, we do have a pronoun. Since the inaugural Repair Cafe, others have been hosted, but this one is so confusing, it's not really helpful, and I want you to actually solve it by yourselves. This is not the question that I'm going to go over. Just take a note of this. This one is coming from SAT number 2. Everyone has access to it. This is question 42. Next one is, I think this is another official test. This one's actually coming from test number 3. And again, when we look at sentence 5, continuing the tradition, Peter's daughter Elizaveta introduced the best and strongest cats in Russia to the Hermitage. Hermitage is a beautiful, beautiful museum. It's probably my favorite museum in the world. And I live next to the Met and Freak collection. And yeah, I still think that maybe I'm from Russia. Maybe that's why. But yeah, Hermitage is just so, so beautiful. Yeah, so here, continuing the tradition, we have the in here, which is a hint in the sentence, but it's not overly clear. So continuing the tradition, that means we need to be talking about some kind of a tradition. But guess what? If you read through this paragraph, there's not much talk about a tradition. Sentence 3 is demonstrating a tradition. Peter the Great introduced the first cat to the Hermitage in the early 18th century. But there is no conversation of like, and that started a tradition. So therefore, it's a little bit difficult. The reason why I place it in a hard category is because later and today, I feel like 4 and 6 have to be together. Therefore, 5 needs to move away. And where would 5 go? We would place it after sentence 3. Another example, I think this one I kind of want to study with you guys. If it is improperly introduced into the environment, acid wave runoff can pollute waterways, depleting the oxygen content of streams and rivers as it decomposes. Okay, so this is an example from SAT test number 1. If it is improperly introduced, we see that there is a pronoun here. The pronoun is it. And acid wave runoff can pollute waterways, depleting oxygen content of streams and rivers as it decomposes. Again, a pretty good sentence, and it can stand by itself because this it maps very nicely to acid way runoff, as acid way improbably introduces. So we can actually place this sentence almost anywhere. But if we look at the paragraph, we're going to see some very clear inconsistencies. The main environmental problem caused by the production of Greek yogurt is the creation of acid whey as a byproduct. Good. Because it requires up to 4 times more milk to make than conventional yogurt does, Greek yogurt produces a large amount of acid whey, which is difficult to dispose of. To address the problem of disposal, farmers have found a number of uses for acid whey. Well, 2 and 3 do not really go together, and here's why. Greek yogurt produces a large amount of acid whey, which is difficult to dispose of. To address the problem of disposal, farmers have found a number of uses, but we don't really understand what the problem is. Do you see how it says the problem? They just say that it's difficult to dispose of, but they're not really discussing the problem. It is difficult to dispose of. We need to learn more about the problem. Therefore, 5, which is discussing the negative consequence, if it is improperly introduced into the environment, acid whey runoff can pollute waterways, depleting the oxygen content. And therefore, 5 would go between 2 and 3. So the answer is C after sentence 2. One last question. This one is coming to us from March 2020. Very, very recent. So here they're giving you a sentence. A team also argued for the anatomical significance of the ridges and indentations in dodos' wing bones. There are some hints in the question, in the sentence. Also, the team also argued. So when we say the team also argued, there must have been some kind of an argument before that. So the team said blah, blah, blah. The team also argued. So I tried that approach. I don't think I was very successful. So I was like, okay, can I see hints inside of the passage? So inside of the paragraph, I can never get those right. Passage, paragraph. This is paragraph. The big one is the passage. So can I find some hints inside of a paragraph? So Hume was a part of a team of paleontologists that employed 3D laser scanning to produce high-resolution images of each bone from 2 nearly complete dodo specimens. The team used images to reconstruct. I think these 2 sentences work very well together. Hume was a part of a team. The team, very good. The articles are mapping, used the images to reconstruct a more streamlined model of skeletal structure. They also evaluated the individual bone images. Hume noted, fine, that the robust kneecaps, along with its thick leg bones and broad pelvis, would have provided them with strength and maneuverability to easily navigate the rocky and densely forested landscapes of Mauritius. Well, what are they talking about? Hume noted, subject verb, what did he note? That robust kneecaps, I can just disregard this. This is going to be a comma sandwich. Would have provided, robust kneecaps would have provided strength and maneuverability. Next sentence, the prominence of these features suggests a well-developed musculature, indicating that the wings, while small in size, likely enhance the dodo's speed and agility. Well, here I have a very interesting pronoun, these features. And if I am not a trained test taker, if I'm not a careful reader, then I'm going to think, oh, these features, well, they were just talking about something about kneecaps, and they were talking about strength and maneuverability. So these features map. But you also need to think about it as a reader. The first sentence, sentence number 3 is talking about the kneecaps. Sentence number 4 is talking about the wing strength and the strength of the musculature of the wings. And it's talking about because of these features. These features are not mapping to the kneecaps. These features need to be mapping somewhere else. So I think that the College Board is just becoming a lot more aggressive with testing your comprehension on the grammar section now, and your ability to map your pronouns and be accurate not only in terms of plural and singular but also in terms of content is becoming paramount. So here, if we were to insert our sentence, the team also argued the anatomical significance of the ridges and indentations in the dodo's wing bones. The prominence of these features now, these features are mapping to the ridges and indentations in the wing bones, then the rest actually is making a lot of sense. The prominence of these ridges and indentations in the dodo's wing bones suggests a well-developed musculature. So this sentence is really, really complicated. So it should be answer choice C after sentence 3. Again, I absolutely love getting comments from you guys. I feel like I spend a lot of time just texting you because I just open it up on my laptop and I just reply to comments. You give me a lot of ideas of videos, and don't forget, every month you get entered into a lottery, and you're not losing, you're not spending money to buy lottery tickets. Here, it costs you nothing. You must be subscribed. Please leave this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below this video, and at the end of the month, we're gonna pick one person to get in a free tutoring session with me. So I look forward to talking to you about your SAT or your ACT, anything learning related, and good luck on your SAT. Bye.